Caitlyn Clark, if they somehow did not protect Caitlyn Clark and let her go to Golden State, it would be the dumbest thing. 7th protected player or not. Either way, she is an unrestricted free agent. They are like the big four. And it's surprising because Lexie Hull didn't get into the lineup for quite a while.
Did the Indiana Fever just blow up their entire roster? In a shocking move, they fired multiple players, leaving fans scratching their heads. But here's the kicker. It's all part of a high-stakes gamble centered around rookie sensation Caitlyn Clark. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. The Fever are reshaping their entire team, and it's not just about winning games. They're building a whole new identity, with Clark as the cornerstone.
So, with the WNBA expansion draft happening soon about who the Indiana Fever will protect, obviously this is going to be quite an interesting one.
But with new expansion teams circling like sharks, is this bold strategy genius or madness? Caitlyn Clark is turning the WNBA upside down, and she hasn't even hit the court yet. It's wild. Her jersey's flying off the shelves faster than they can make them. Fans are packing arenas just to watch her warm up. That's the kind of star power that changes everything. The Fever aren't just getting a great player, they're getting a whole new identity. Clark's already the face of the franchise, and she hasn't played a single pro game. It's like the entire league is holding its breath, waiting to see what she'll do next.
There's no need to go too much detail on protecting Caitlyn Clark and Aaliyah Boston. Probably have two of the highest trade values in the W. They are not, under any circumstances, gonna be allowed to leave.
Now picture this. Clark teaming up with Aaliyah Boston. They're already being called the deadliest duo in the league. Boston saying she trusts Clark's decisions on the court more than anyone else's. That's huge coming from a player of Boston's caliber. These two could be lighting up scoreboards for years to come. But here's the thing. All this hype puts insane pressure on the Fever's front office. They've got to build the perfect team around Clark, or they risk wasting her talent. It's like trying to solve a million-piece puzzle with the whole world watching. One wrong move, and they could mess up their shot at a dynasty.
Caitlyn Clark, if they somehow did not protect Caitlyn Clark and let her go to Golden State, it would be the dumbest thing. And the first player they are going to protect is, obviously, Caitlyn Clark.
You know what's making this even crazier? The expansion draft. It's got everyone on edge. The Fever can only protect 6 players. That means some fan favorites might be packing their bags soon. Imagine being in that front office right now. Every decision feels like it could make or break the franchise's future. Picture Clark leading the Fever to the playoffs in her rookie year. Sounds amazing, right? But here's the catch. She might be doing it without some key veterans. That's the gamble the Fever are taking. They're betting everything on Clark and a completely reshaped roster. It's a high-stakes game of basketball chess. The Fever are moving pieces around, trying to create the perfect team around their new superstar. But with new teams like the Golden State Valkyries and Portland Pilots ready to snatch up any player left unprotected, the pressure's on. One wrong move, and the Fever could be watching their former players become stars for their rivals. Remember Kelsey Mitchell's amazing 27.5 points per game after the break? Well, that hot streak might have just made the Fever's job a whole lot harder. Now they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Keep their proven scorer or gamble on new blood? The Fever's front office is sweating bullets right now.
I'm not entirely sure if coring Kelsey Mitchell is a 7th or not. 7th protected player or not. Either way, she is an unrestricted free agent, or if she really wants to go, is going to be traded. Either way, you are not going to not protect her and let her walk to the Valkyries.
They've got some impossible choices to make, and it all starts with Mitchell. She's been the heart of this team, but now she's a free agent. The Fever could use their core designation to keep her, but that would eat up a huge chunk of their salary cap. If they don't, teams like the Golden State Valkyries could swoop in and sign her away for nothing.
You are not going to ignore the ability to core her and just let her walk to Golden State. Because if she is available, Golden State will take her. So what I'm guessing is that she's going to be a Fever next year, and she's probably exploring free agency so that she has kind of an idea of who she wants.
Imagine losing your star player and getting zilch in return. That's the kind of move that keeps GMs up at night. But here's where it gets wild. Lexie Hull came out of nowhere and turned into a three-point machine. She went from being one of the worst shooters in the league.
They are like the big four. And it's surprising because Lexie Hull did not stay in the line, didn't get into the lineup for quite a while. Getting nuclear hot again. She went from the worst three-point shooting guard in the entire WNBA to the best three-point shooter in the NBA. I can't believe she didn't play earlier in the year because she at least brought energy.
To draining threes like it's nothing. In the last 16 games, she shot over 50% from beyond the arc. That's insane.
She's gonna probably be a starter. Ideally, she'd be coming off the bench. And then through the last 16 games, she shot so well that she ended up shooting above 50% of the season. Either way, though, Lexie Hull is going to be there.
Do the Fever gamble on her potential? Or do they worry it's just a hot streak? And don't forget about Nelissa Smith. She's got raw talent for days, but she's been hit or miss on the court. One game she's lighting it up, the next she's ice cold. But here's the thing. Experts say her value on the open market is huge. Teams are drooling over her potential.
If they are to make any sort of a trade. If they are to make a trade, Nelissa Smith has to be involved in it. Like, you're not going to get... She has more value on the open market than a Damer dos Santos. She has more value in the open market than a Temi. If her impact has ever matched her talent, either way, though, Nelissa Smith is going to be protected.
The Fever can't afford to let her go, but can they afford to keep her? The Fever are playing 4D chess here. Every move affects their salary cap, their chemistry, and their future. They're trying to build the perfect team around Caitlyn Clark, but one wrong move could set them back years. You know what's making this even crazier? The new expansion teams. The Golden State Valkyries and Portland Pilots are circling like sharks, ready to snatch up anyone the Fever leave unprotected. Imagine this nightmare scenario. The Fever protect the wrong players, and suddenly their rivals are stacked with their old talent. It's like watching your ex show up to a party with your best friend. Ouch! The clock's ticking, and the pressure's mounting. The Fever's decisions now will shape their identity for years to come. Will they go all in on youth and potential, or stick with proven veterans? One thing's for sure, the entire basketball world is watching, waiting to see if this high-stakes gamble pays off. The Indiana Fever are rolling the dice big time. They're betting the farm on Caitlyn Clark and a whole new lineup. It's like they're trying to build a championship team from scratch overnight. Will it work, or are they about to crash and burn? You know what's wild? This could be the start of a dynasty or a total disaster. Clark's got the talent, no doubt, but can the Fever surround her with the right players? That's the million-dollar question. The entire basketball world is glued to Indiana right now. Everyone's waiting to see if this crazy gamble pays off. The clock's ticking, and the pressure's insane. One thing's for sure, win or lose, the Fever are changing the game. They're either gonna look like geniuses or total fools. There's no in-between here.